Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Dev with Excel. All right, so here is exercise 2.4. In the previous video, we were able to solve exercise 2.2 and 2.3. So we merged the both exercises as one because the instructions were very similar. So here we are working with exercise 2.4 and it says, let's extend our application to allow for arbitrary number of courses. So that means that should in case the number of courses gets bigger, our code should not break, right? So we can see that here our course is an object. It's an object variable, right? But here now it's an array. So we need to understand what to do exactly, right? So how do we do this? We first need to copy this into our code. But before that, here I have been able to create a setup folder for our step 9. So I'm simply going to copy the path and then cd into it. So cd into step 9 and then npm run dev. Then I close this. This belongs to step 7 and 8. And then go to SLC folder and open app.jsx. Now this is going to run as expected. Let's wait for it. It should run properly. All right, but now we want to add more data to the course variable. So we are going to copy what we have from here up to this point here, and we use this to replace what we have in this code. So here we are simply going to take out this course, this const course, and then we replace it with what we just had now. All right, so I'm going to save this. Our code should break now, I believe. Yes, now our code breaks because we added new data to our course variable. How do we solve this? Now, one way we should understand is that for this course now, let's go to the course component. Before then, let's minimize this and this. Let's go to the course component. You can see that this is able to format the header, the content, and the total component, right? Which belongs to these objects, this first object here. Oh, sorry, this first object, yes, this first object here, yes. But now we are having two objects now, this and then this. That means we need to create some sort of loop that should be able to accommodate these two objects, because initially we worked with just one object and we thought everything was fine, right? Now more data has been added to the code and everything breaks. So we need to write the code in such a way that it accommodates for more data, right? So we need to scale the application. So in this case, what we are going to do is very simple. Let's just bring this, let's cut this away and let's keep it aside somewhere. Let's not let this confuse us. Let's just keep this somewhere, right? So here in this return statement, we need to return the iterative form of this, right? And how do we do that? Before then, we need to put a div inside the return statement. So inside the return statement, we need to put a div. So we say div. Okay, so let's write it out ourselves. Div. And then inside the div, what do? We say courses dot. Now we are trying to reference this courses variable now. So we say courses dot map Then in brackets, this map is going to accept a parameter, and this parameter, let's call it course. You can choose to give yours whatever you want to give it. Then after this, we need to place in this course component. So we copy everything we have from here and then we place it here. Let's take this out. Now we have this, right? Okay. Now there's an error we are having here. Let's be very sure of what's happening. Okay, I think we are supposed to take this away. We are supposed to take this away and also take this out. Okay, let's still proceed. Let's still proceed. So after doing this, the next thing we need to do is we need to wrap this all in curly brace, right? So that's going to mean doing something like this. Okay, so we have it returned here. Wow. So we have everything returned here because we are able to iterate through the entire courses variable, right? But there's a complaint that we are having. Let's check if it's reflecting in the console. It's not reflecting here, but it's going to reflect here. Let's go to the developers tool, and it's saying each child in this, each child in a list should have a unique key property, right? So that means that just like the key we talked about earlier in the previous video, we are expected to use a key for this course component also, right? Okay, so here what we need to do is to come here and say key is equal to, now we need to put an ID inside this key. Now where do we get this ID from? Is it going to be the ID inside the path, that's path.id, or the ID directly inside the courses, that's courses.id? Here we are working with the courses variable, right? That's the course component. Therefore, I believe that we are supposed to do courses.id, or rather course.id, because course for each of the courses. So this becomes course.id. So let's save this and see. Okay, so this works well and there's no more issues. Let's go to the developers tool. Let's close this and let's refresh to see if you're having any issues. Okay, so no more issues, right? So everything works as expected. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the instruction to be very sure that we've been able to implement everything required of us. So for exercise 2.4, which is this, our application looks almost exactly like this, if not exactly. Okay, so here is total of 42 exercises, total of 10 exercises. That's what we have here. Total of 42 exercises, total of 10 exercises. Okay, awesome. So with this, we've come to the end of the code implementation for exercise 2.4. And thanks for joining on this call. See you in the next video. Bye.